This is a 6K Anti-Mage replay. So, once again, just going to narrate my thoughts when I'm going into a game like this. I have a Jakiro support. I am against either Puck or Pangolier. Either one of those could be mid or off lane. Probably Pangolier, but it could be either way. With a tiny 4 position. So not major harass if it's Pangolier, but more so like kill threat, which isn't really that great against my hero. It's a pretty good anti-mage game. I should have a pretty strong laning stage, and I should look to be aggressive. If it's a Puck, I can blink on him and hit him, so the Orb of Venom makes sense. If it's a Pango, he can't really trade well with me level 1, so making use of that's really good. This is 6K, so this guy's a decent player, and he has a lot of games on Anti-Mage based on his Dota Plus level.
30 seconds to battle.
So I like this aggression. Pangolier, super weak level 1. You know it's a Pangolier top.
The battle begins.
Okay. Got literally no bounties? Yeah, no bounties. Yeah, that's alright. In this case, very small thing, but I would be I'd be hitting these creeps from right here rather than where you are, just in case the Puck's trying to like poke in for some experience range, or Pangolier before you saw him cutting. Just being slightly more aggressively postured, I think, would be good here for all the reasons we talked about already. So you see that the Pangolier's cutting, flying yourself a creep area, a Quelling Blade. I think it's really important you put your perspective on Pangolier and see what he's doing. So far you haven't looked. So you see now that he is doubling up the wave. So I would just be keeping a close eye on what exactly he's doing with the wave. Is he doubling it up and TPing? Is he doubling up and walking it to your tower? You know, like what, or his own tower? What is he doing? It's very important because responding accordingly is very important. So you do drag it into the creep camp, but he doubled up the wave. So at this point, it's going to be chaos coming pretty soon. Not much you can do about that. At this point, the reason why I don't like dragging into the creep wave is because of exactly what just happened there. So what happens in Dota is that if somebody, by the way, this is trash. If somebody's obligated to do something, meaning go for a CS, or, you know, they're behind and they have to make a move, like a gank, it makes it abusable. It makes it obvious, and it makes it so good players will take advantage of that. So in this case, because you're the one that's obligated to be CSing, you can't harass the Pango because he's willing to fight you, because during the time that he's fighting you, you're missing creeps. So if Pango's just going to TP out like that, I don't think it's good to drag it into the creep camp. But if you see the Pango start dragging it all the way like this, that's when you pull it into the creep camp, because you're going to farm the creep camp and get it for free. But because you did what you did, you just gave up 2 CS. And then you have this whole mentality of being super aggressive, and then you just level your E against Pango, who does literally 0 magic damage. So, I can't really process that one, but maybe it's a misclick. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say it's a misclick. So, lane's out of control now. I would have been telling my Jakiro to pull. Looks like he has no interest in doing so. I would have at least told him to do so. Level 1 Pango. You can freely walk at him for sure. Not much you can really do other than that. So you're gonna, let's see what you do with this aggression here. Okay, yeah, you definitely blink on him now. Okay, he's dead. It's a very big feed by Pangolier to use his Q, knowing he was getting a triple wave, so that's just really bad, and you abused it. That's fine. 6K players do that. You don't seem to understand tower aggro very well. So, for instance, when you blinked on this Pango, right here, what you can do is, the way towers work, same with creeps, is if you A-click an opponent, or right-click, whatever, if you issue an attack command on an opponent, everything on the map checks and sees if you are within aggro range of it. For creeps as well as towers, it is 500 range. So, you know, approximately right here. So, if you issue that command and something's in aggro range of you, it attacks you. And that it's just like Blink Dagger with a damage cooldown. You get put on cooldown. That 3 seconds goes on cooldown. So what I'm saying is, if I A-click this Pangolier right now, and then I blink on him, for the next 3 seconds, I'm not going to aggro the tower. So that's really important when it comes to these types of dives, to make sure you take less tower shots. It goes for the same thing here. You just took like 400 damage from the tower that you could have avoided. And then right here, if you're going to A-click this Pango, you should walk outside of, like, you should either do it from right here, or you should, like, walk out here to outside of 500 range, then A-click him. Instead, you walk at him and then A-click him right underneath the tower's range. So you clearly do not understand tower aggro, and you've taken probably 800 damage this entire laning stage, and 700 of it's a tower. So I'd say that's a pretty big deal. You bought a Ring of Health instead of, like, Boots Wraithband because you don't understand tower aggro. You, once again, do not understand tower aggro. Please go into a private lobby and practice it. I'm literally going to do it just because I'm such a nice guy. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about because I'm just such a nice guy here. I got to push this wave into this guy's tower first. So let's put this here, put that there. Level up. Need 2 points.
Prepare for battle.
Yes.
Just show you real quick what I'm saying.
As thou will it.
So if I blink on him and click him, I'll just tower aggro. But if I A-click, then blink, took the tower 3 seconds to start attacking me. So getting used to that 3-second cooldown, very important. Because once it's reset to the 3-second cooldown, you walk outside of 500 range, do it again. So I would say that affected your itemization, that affected your ability to capitalize on the lead that you are given, and it's all just one mechanic that you don't understand. So I highly recommend, if you're around the 6K mark, you can be any MMR, but if you're at the 6K mark and there's a mechanic of Dota you don't explicitly understand, you should really go do the homework on, like, Dota Wiki, because why would you have something so simple hold you back when you're this high of MMR at this point? Moving on. I mean, obviously you're still winning the lane, but like I said, you have a Ring of Health instead of Boots Wraithband.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
Very easy
top
lane.
tower is under attack.
Okay, tower aggro continues to be very bad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So the question I ask you, does Anti-Mage pressure with tower? No. Like, does Anti-Mage pressure towers? No. Can Pangolier walk up to the lane if it's next to your tower? No. Does Pangolier have an option if you don't pull the wave to his tower? No. Why are you pushing? BSJ, have a catapult. You're a fucking Anti-Mage. Don't push. Let this guy sit at level fucking 3 while the lane's back here. And if he walks up, you blink on him. There's just no reason to push it into him, because the amount you're getting out of pushing the lane and whatever is way inefficient compared to what you're giving him in return compared to the lane just sitting here. Every hero has a different capability of how much they want to pressure the tower and win. Every hero has a point where they stop keeping the lane equilibrium where it is. If you watch my Ricky game today, you can watch that one where I was against a Pugna and I kept the lane at my tower. The minute the Pugna was done with the lane, like, he just gave up. He went mid and, like, tried to gank my mid laner. Then I pushed it into his tower. Why? Because he doesn't want to be there. I make him come back, and then he doesn't want to be in the lane anymore because I come back. So it's like, make him want to leave, do something that makes them come back, then make them want to leave again. And you're controlling the pace of the game. Instead, you're just giving this guy exactly what he wants. Really thinking about what the enemy hero doesn't want you to do, or like what their counterplay is, or what your hero's job is. Like, if you're like a level, 6 troll warlord, yeah, sure, pressure the guy's tower, but like, I know you end up getting it because it's low, but I would honestly rather the guy's tower be alive and him be level 3. Like, I would prefer that myself. Obviously a bit of an overextension. The reason why I also say this is because it's a Pango. Like, that hero relies on having a remotely decent start. Like, if he's just crippled, like, that's way more impactful than having his tower be gone, because you can get that tower if you're level 7 and he's level 4. You'll get that tower without the catapult. Okay, so now the tower's gone. Obviously still a good start. Everything else that I'm not commenting on, we're assuming to be good. You're playing the efficiency game. You went for a single Wraith Band, that's fine. You got a shovel. It's pretty standard stuff right now. They can't really kill you very well without coil. I was gonna say, you're being a little crazy here. So, how do I word this? Where do you draw the line? I guess the best explanation I have is you just have to think about when you're farming where that line is. If you don't understand that like I knew you were out of position, I'm gonna let this play out to kind of see, but I'm like, wow, everyone's missing and he's just at their tier 2 as an anti-mage at 10 minutes. Your hero doesn't create significant tower pressure. So a lot of times on heroes like anti-mage, it's great to protect yourself farming by pushing out the lane and then leaving. That's like you're kind of playing this cat and mouse game. You're making them show heroes so you feel safer, that kind of stuff. But your hero doesn't actually pressure towers. So you really only push towers if like 5 other people or 5 opponents are showing in some lane. So you just know you're safe. Like the exception to the rule is to not push towers. The exception is when like all of them are showing, right? Because the reason why you're not pushing towers is because the threat is way higher than it is the benefit that you get from pushing a tower as anti-mage at 10 minutes. So it's kind of similar, like the fact that you pushed your tier 1 so early, you know, I'm ignoring the triple wave, like that was kind of forced upon you. That's like, do whatever, you can't do anything about that. But the fact that you went for that catapult push with anti-mage kind of tells me, you know, you just want to push towers no matter what hero you're playing, and that doesn't, Dota just doesn't work that way. So, yeah, that's a big thing for me here. Everyone's missing. Push this wave out and leave, you know, like, what else are they doing? You know, if they're all just jungling, you're happy with that because you're in farm mode. You're in mode farm. So you're content with that. There's just nobody showing. And I'm like, yeah, you're pretty hard to kill you unless they puck coil you, and you're under a tier 2, and you just get puck coiled. I said cuck. Puck coiled. Yeah, I mean, this is just the most predictable death in the history of Dota, right? Like, I mean, I do it too sometimes when I just zone out, but zoning out's real bad. In your case, you either zoned out or you just didn't think about it. One of the two. Okay, so now what? Okay, so you TP back to your own safe lane. So the problem now is, since you TP back, good players will probably walk at you. So you do push out the wave one time, they start walking at you, you blink away, that's fine. You see the puck, she's your main threat, it, whatever. Puck is now bottom though, so I would immediately blink towards top. Okay, you did, good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The rule of invisibility.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, I was just waiting. I was surprised you pushed this next wave. So this is how Dota works. Puck, TP'd bottom. So that means you have... What time did she exactly TP? Just to, you know, be professional here.
Radiant's
Puck TP'd bottom at 12:16. So yeah, 80 seconds you have before she has TP again. So it's kind of like an internal clock. More so, it's probably better to have a feel for it than to count exactly. But some players I know, like Eternal Envy, they just count exactly. Like they just know your TP cooldown to the second. So what I think about this is, how long does it take them, by feel, I usually think by feel, to walk from bottom to top? And how long do I have until they can TP to top? So if Puck, say, gets this kill bottom, like does her thing bottom, and then stays bottom and keeps showing bottom, then I know I have till 1340 before Puck can mess with me again, right? Like, that's how I think about it. But now, you have to have this internal clock of Puck's your threat, right? I talked about that. She's your threat. She makes her way towards the mid lane right here. So, I guess she had an Arcane Rune when she TP'd. Oh, she has Boots of Travel. I didn't even check that, damn. But either way, you did. I saw the puck mid. This is what I was going to emphasize. I didn't even see the boots of travel on puck. You know why I didn't see the boots of travel on puck is because you haven't put your screen at the puck at all. So when I have a threat, I usually try to check their items to make sure I understand what I'm worried about here. So that's probably a good point to make, is if you have a threat on the opponent team, I'm watching the player perspective of your replay, and I don't know what items they have. That's probably not very good. But puck just went missing. And you went to farm a creep camp, or creep wave, where the puck just started missing. Right here. And you're dead. Okay. TP back to top lane. This is some good shit. So we see puck mid. The puck's mid. Clear wave, clear wave. Go, go, go. We saw puck at base because of... What was that because of? Okay, we see puck mid either way. Without puck, we're unkillable. I would say so. I mean, it would be really hard. Like, Wyvern into toss combo into, like, 2 heroes being right there, sure. What happened to your shovel? You just don't have an item. But okay, you have a... Oh, that's not what we're looking for. So while you're farming, I'm just looking at the map. We see puck mid. Puck's walking top. GTFO, GTFO. Oh, what are you doing? Okay. I'm the puck. I'm the one that hunts you. I just showed mid. Where is in terms of efficiency, where is an anti-mage gonna go from this creep wave? These guys are 6k. They're not great, but they're not idiots. You're gonna go to this camp, and you just saw Puck doing this. So, you know what? Like, I've always tried to be a bit more constructive, but people seem to be more entertained when I'm just a douche. So, you know, your map awareness is like me 4 years ago, okay? Like, this is bad. Like, this is my level 4 years ago of map awareness. This is utter garbanzo beans. So I'm going to tell you what you need to focus on is when you're split pushing or you're a farming hero, ask yourself, what combination of heroes kill me? And I think in this game, there's usually like a catalyst. There's like a hero that's always going to be a part of killing you. Like, they're going to be one of the 2 or 3 heroes involved killing you. In this game, it's Puck. Please try to have some awareness of where the Puck is on the map. You've died to Coil 3 times in an incredibly predictable manner. So I was narrating it before it even happened, and I'm watching from your player perspective. So that's when you know it's bad. So really start to think about that. In games where you have, like, every hero on the enemy team threatens to kill you, that's where you have to play super passive, way off map, and you might have picked a bad hero, or you might have built a way that you weren't supposed to farm because you just died to everything. Those are another options. But in games like this, where you're playing a farming hero, it's a pretty good anti-mage game. It's pretty clear who kills you. You're 6k, you should be able to figure that out. Just think about it and play accordingly. So now that we tally that up to 3 very obvious deaths to Puck. Okay. Okay. So, by TP... Okay. Give me a second, guys. I'm emotionally in pain. Just give me a second. I have a session on YouTube. It's a Phantom Assassin session of coaching. It's like 5.5K, probably like 6 months to a year old, where I talk about the detrimental use of TPs. As well, I believe I talk about how oftenly bad it is to TP to your own safe lane past like 15 minutes. You're saving like 4 seconds to TP here instead of just blinking twice. By TPing, you effectively make it so you can never show up to fights. If you farm out to here and they run at you, your only option is to run all the way back instead of just TPing. There's a bajillion reasons why this is terrible, and you keep doing it. So this one's by far the worst out of all of them. But you're truly playing AFK carry. Like, every time people watch players like Miracle, and they're like, wow, even on a farming anti-mage, they seem to always be where they need to be. It's because they don't TP like this. I'm telling you right now, this is like game-losing shit in a professional game. Like, 8K players, 9K, 10K players will never TP like this. They just won't. So watch that coaching session. Please watch players that are better than you at heroes like Anti-Mage and farming heroes, and watch their TPs. Because the rule is never TP to your own tier 2 safe lane or tier 1 past the 15-minute mark. The exception is something you need to learn from watching people do it. It's emotionally painful for me to watch you TP to your own safe lane tier 2 at 17 minutes, which saves you like 4 seconds. Like, what if you see this fight and there's a puck like right here with 0 mana but full health, and you can just TP here, blink honor, and alter, right? What if? I guarantee you that's going to happen at least 1 out of 5 games, 1 out of 10 games, and you're just never giving yourself a chance to be a part of this game. Okay. TP usage, incredibly important on all roles, but especially heroes that are supposed to be farming. Okay, so you make your way back across the map. I mean, there's nothing to comment on items. Those are standard. Okay, you see them top again. Your player perspective is about me 5 years ago as well. I haven't seen you look at another hero or their items a single time. So I'm going to tell you, I usually wrap up replays around 15 to 20 minutes of analyzing, unless I feel like there's more I need to see. Your major issue as a player is, as a farming player, this proceeds throughout the entire course of the game, by the way, is who kills me, how, keeping track of them, thinking about item timings of that hero, thinking about level timings, etc. Like if it's Puck plus a Blink Tiny, for instance, you'd be looking at the Blink Tiny. When fights are going to happen, you need to have a general sense of what's the condition for you showing up to a fight. So on a hero like Anti-Mage, it's generally if they have a hero that can just pop, like a Puck with no mana. And then you can watch the fight for the sake of looking and seeing if the Puck has no mana, so if you'll TP or not. These are making it so you'll make educated decisions. You are a 6K player that knows how to blink from camp to camp in a very efficient manner with no conceptual direction. Like, that is what you are. So to expand upon, you've already got the efficiency. You've got the farming efficiency. Obviously, you don't know tower mechanics that well that I told you to already work on, but in general, your mechanics are pretty good. So that is not the concern at all. I've seen a little bit of range, but most of the time, people in your bracket are mechanically pretty decent, conceptually potatoes. So you fall into the conceptually potato category. And I think that it's really moving forward for you. You should watch replays, even if it's just 2 or 3. Like, it can be quick, of how they use TPs, like what their player perspective is checking. Like, you should theory craft to yourself, I think he dies this way, and then watch them, right? And see what they do in reaction to that. And that's going to be really important because you have 3 unnecessary deaths, maybe even 4. I don't remember exactly. You do have 4 deaths, but I know for sure 3 of them were unnecessary. And I don't have any information about what's going on in these team fights, nor what's going on in this game from watching your perspective. And that's a problem. So if you want to make it to the next level as a 6K player, generally speaking, this is the type of thing that needs to get better. And it's obviously highlighted even more so because you're playing Anti-Mage, a hero that's all he does is farm, and these are crucial skills to playing these types of heroes. But this type of skill matters on every hero. It's just going to matter more on heroes like Anti-Mage. So really highlighting that from this game, that's your major issue. And this is something that applies as the game goes on. As the game goes on, it becomes much more easy to kill you. Much easier to kill you. So if you can't dodge kills or deaths when there's only like a one specific way to die, you're not going to be able to dodge deaths at the 40-minute mark when they can kill you in like 8 different ways. So the point is to work on this now, but then to grow it over the course of the game. And that's why I emphasize if people can't do this stuff in the laning stage or, you know, at the 8-minute mark, they're definitely not going to be able to do it at the 25. So work on it here first. Then you can start, you know, studying the game. I like to take the game chronologically. I think the game of Dota becomes more and more complicated as it goes on. And I think for you, it's really proving that these are skills you need to practice this early on, but also know they apply at all stages of the game. It just becomes more complicated. So that's where I'm going to leave that replay. I know I was a bit flamey or whatever, but it's just for the views, man. You know, I'm a cam girl at the end of the day. So thanks for submitting your replay, and best of luck, etc., etc.
Anti-Mage.
Shut up, Anti-Mage.